Okay, hey everyone, and welcome to our Straight Talk call. I am so excited for this one because it is a right after convention. And if you have ever been to convention, you know that there's just like this fire and excitement that happens. And you hear so many people say that convention is where they caught the vision for this business. Convention is where their belief was built. Convention is where they learned something that they took with them that radically changed their business over that next year. Like you can't go to convention and leave the same person. Like I've been to so many conventions and year after year after year, it just keeps getting better and better and the experiences are amazing. The parties are incredible. The teachings, the stories, they'll just tug at your heart and make you cry. I don't think I've ever cried as much as I did at this convention. It was insane. And so, for those of you who were there, or even for those of you who were not there, we wanted to have a few people come on and share tonight just about their experiences as their first time coming to convention. So we're going to have Ashley Taylor kick it off for us tonight, and she's just going to share a little bit about what she learned, what her experience was like. So go ahead, Ashley. You're muted, babe.
There it goes. Hey everyone. So yeah, I this is my first convention. I did get to go to Leaders Retreat, which was, belief building itself, but I did not I was kind of expecting convention to be a lot like that, and it was just so much more. Just like Megan said, so much belief building, being able to hear the testimonies, to the business, the products, and being able to relate to those, like, people that are diamonds walking across that stage, being able to hear their testimonies and hearing like, okay, they started off just like I did. They're doing the same thing I am. And just like feeling, believing that I can be walking across that stage next year. I am putting that out into I'm speaking it out there. Like that's gonna happen for me. And I came back like I wouldn't say I was losing like energy, but I just needed this convention so much because it just lit the fire back underneath me being there with everybody, and then also getting to know our team on a deeper level. Like I get to see y'all all the time, like through videos and all that, but like being able to actually sit down, connect, and share different tips about like what you're doing in your business um is just an amazing thing to have, because there's a lot of people that want to keep that stuff a secret, and everybody in this business is like, here's what I'm doing, and that's just so amazing because we're all cheering each other on no matter if we're on the same team. And we all truly want to see each of us walk across that stage as a jewel, as a diamond, as all of it. And I, like Megan said, I've never cried. I was like, what is wrong with me? I cried at every single session. I did not expect that. I did not pack waterproof mascara. I will know next year. But I think the biggest thing that I took away is that next year, I want to bring an entire team with me next year. I want for them to experience their first convention like I got to, and give them that, like, build that belief in them that this is also possible for them. Like all I want to do is shout from the rooftops like, hey, everybody can do this. Like it just, but of course nobody's going to believe you because they, hopefully some people do, but that's just how I feel. And I just want to let everybody know about this opportunity, because not only for the money, the products, but this community is absolutely amazing. I have not been a person that has had a lot of girlfriends or friends in general in my life. So knowing that like I have people that I can just pick up the phone and call any time of the day, no matter about what, is truly amazing. And being able to spend an entire week with them, like, come on, that was great. That was great. So that's all I have to say, Megan. I'll
Okay,
pass.
here's the other thing that I love about Ashley is that attending her very first convention, she swept the entire contest. Like she won the whole dang thing. Not one, she earned. She earned the whole dang thing. Which is really impressive. Like Her hotel was covered. She got to go to every single party that there was. Like, that's amazing to be able to do that for your very first year. So, just shout out to you for all of that because that is truly like an incredible honor that you were there. And I have zero doubts that you will walk across that stage as an emerald because you put your mind to it. So, I love it. Okay, next up is Ariel. And this is actually her very first Zoom call that she's ever been on. She had to download it today. So if you guys in the chat will just show her some love as she's getting ready to share for the very first time on Zoom. Nothing like sharing the first time you've ever been on a Zoom call before, right? But Ariel is amazing and she is very new to Plexus. Okay. She is someone who she was silver. She had just gone silver and decided she's like, heck yes, I'm going to convention. Like, I have to make it there. She brought a friend with her who hadn't even ordered the products yet, who that girl is now sharing and is about to go fast start silver. And so, right before convention, Ariel
Mhm.
hit fast start senior silver, and she's about to double rank this month to gold. She's like two people away from hitting gold. And so, if you guys didn't know her before, you guys are gonna get to know her because you're gonna see her name all over everywhere because she is amazing. So while I didn't really know Ariel much before this, I knew of who she was and I knew that she would be amazing at this. And I really, really, really wanted her to do this with Megan and Shelby. And so she finally said yes. And it feels like we've known each other for forever, even though it's really
Yes.
only been like 3 weeks because we've seen each other so much. And I just love it. So, Ariel, go ahead and share your experience as a brand new to Plexus and your very first convention.
Okay, so like she said, my name is Ariel, and I'm quite new to this, and which has me a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. But I wanted to jump in. First off, I am so honored that I got to even attend the conference. I was so blind going into it. I didn't know what to wear or how it was going to be, what the setup was going to be, or anything like that. So going blind was kind of hard, but after now looking at it, I'm like, well, wait, I can't wait to go back. Just because I know, I was like that morning, I texted Megan, I was like, what do I wear? You know how we are, ladies. And she's like, if there's gonna be a little bit of everything. And I'm like, okay, good. I got this in the bag then. I'm good. I'm good. But I did want to share what I did like about the conference. So I made a couple of notes. I'm going to just kind of go over those. What I liked most about the conference was that there was thousands of people there, men and women, all out for the same goal. All thousands of the people are on one team. Everyone was so welcoming, no matter their rank or where they were from. Being over 24 hours away from home, I was so nervous to go that far without my husband. But once I got there, I felt so welcome. Even though I just started in May, I was included as if I was part of Plexus for years. And that meant a lot to me because actually coming without my husband was a big step for me, but I was so willing and determined I was going to get there. No matter what, I was fighting someone to go with me. So I wasn't scared to go to Vegas alone. But the community, I mean, Ashley said it. The community was amazing. Like being part of a company or business is great, but what really makes the business is the people or the people in it. And just hearing the transformations and all of the stories behind this was amazing. Like I kept sobbing. I was crying just because I kept thinking that's me. I am literally them. They would talk about how they started with nothing, like living paycheck to paycheck and this, that, and the other, and then they're where they're at now. And just hearing where they've started to where they're at now has been so mind blowing to see that progress. So that's what I liked most. And then what stood out the most was How do I even tell you what stood out the most? Every second was good. I love how much knowledge I gained while being there. But what honestly stood out the most is that Plexus is constantly working to improve their products. We know Restore has already been a product, but Plexus heard their people and heard that the taste wasn't the best. And they took that to heart and improved that. Not only that, but they brought the Slam Sweet Tea back for good. As ambassadors and customers, we are heard. So that's one thing that stood out to me all week. We heard about the sweet tea and the products, how they're going to be here to stay, and da da da. But to some people, we all take things a different way. So I kept hearing it, the Restore and the sweet tea, but in my mind, being someone that's new coming into the convention, I'm looking at it as, look, these people are not here just to quote unquote make money, but to hear their ambassadors, which is really what stood out to me. My favorite part, I would say my favorite part was our little bit of pool time and meeting a woman named Lisa. Lisa was from Wisconsin, and we sat in the pool and talked to her for like over an hour. And she, gave us her testimony of how she's been with Plexus. She really went deep in 2020 when she had to stop working. In the midst of it, she got COVID and was on a ventilator and literally almost died. She had zero muscle. She lost all kinds of weight and she started taking Plexus to help her. She started working out and now she is a senior Ruby and I can't wait to watch her across stage. So walk across stage next year because I know she's going to do it. So just like getting those friendships, even though it's like states away, means so much. So I have added her on Facebook and we've been messaging ever since. So that's one of my favorite things. And then my other one was I love that we are still able to be tourists there. Most people on business trips are strictly working clock round, but Plexus gives us our time as well. I told my husband while I was there that I wish that convention was once a month. It's beyond amazing and worth every second, penny, and mileage. It's so motivating. That's all I have, Megan.
That was amazing, you guys. Give her some love in the chat.
Thank
It's
you.
so brave to get on for the very first time and share your experience like that. And I think that's a really interesting perspective as somebody who's brand new to Plexus because we've been around for a while and we know that we're heard and seen and valued by corporate. But I love that you saw and noticed that too, as someone who's only been here for about a month with the company. And I will tell you, like, as you get to know Jean and Alec and Tarl, like they are amazing, like from the top down. I actually snapped a picture that I need to share. We had a diamond meeting on Friday morning. And as we were walking out, Jean is pushing this other diamond. Her name's Lauren. She was there by herself with her 3-week-old baby. He's pushing her giant wagon, through the hallways, having conversations, all those kinds of things. Like that's the leadership that we have in Plexus. Like they didn't know I was snapping a picture. He didn't do it for the publicity. There was only a handful of us that were there, but they do it because they care. They remember your kids' names. They ask about them. They wish happy birthday. Like they genuinely care about who we are. And so it really is an amazing community from the top down in leadership. So I love all that, Ariel. You did amazing. Thank you for
Thank
saying
you.
yes. And I'm so excited for all the things that are to come with you. Okay, our next speaker is someone that you guys have heard from before. And every single time she speaks, it's powerful and it's moving. And so Dina is going to go ahead and share her experience from convention last week.
All right, so I just got through running my team call and jumped in here late, so I don't have a clue what Ashley shared, and I only heard half of Ariel. So if I repeat stuff, then that just means that it's meant for you to hear again. So we're just going to hear it again. I wanted to say this, Ariel, you're going to love continuing those friendships because one of my favorite parts of convention, this was my first convention, and one of my favorite parts of it is all of the people that I met in Punta Cana that I got to reconnect with on this trip, and people that I've met online that I got to see in person, some of you that I got to see in person for the first time ever. And the friendships and the community is such a huge part of this to me. So you're going to love continuing those connections through the years. I don't have just like one thing from one person that stood out to me. I have a lot of things from a lot of people. So I'm going to try to go through this kind of fast, but I want to share all of this with you. One of the things that stood out to me was keeping a positive mindset. It doesn't matter if your mindset is on the products or the business, whatever it is. If you don't have a positive mindset, you're not going to succeed. If your mindset about taking the products is not to be consistent, to drink your water, to do the things that need to be done for the products to work, I can tell you 100% the products work. And it's just like our customers. We can tell them it works, but if your mindset's not ready for it, it's not going to work. So you got to have a positive mindset there. And with the business, you've got to have a positive mindset. And in the process of that, you have to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who are going to believe in you and support you, cheer you on, encourage you. Whether that's people, if you've got people in your life who think that you're crazy for spending money on these gut health products, they're not supporting you. They're not helping you. They're not believing in you. And if they're not supporting you and taking the products, they're not going to support you in the business side of Plexus. So you've got to make sure that we weed those people out of our lives and that we surround ourselves with people who are going to encourage and going to be there and believe in us. No Debbie Downers in our lives. Okay. Another thing is to always think about where you're going, like always know in your mind where you're going. So I don't know if it's because of something somebody said during convention or what, but in my notes, I wrote really big in the middle of a page, diamond is my goal. Nothing will change that. Diamond is where I'm going. Nothing will change that. Crystal clear. And I sent that to Lisa and Alita today. And that is my new thing. Like I'm going to say it over and over multiple times a day. To be very clear, I'm already a diamond. Corporate thinks that I'm senior gold, but that's okay because eventually they're going to get the memo. I am a diamond. Diamond is where I'm going. Nothing is going to change that. It is crystal clear. That's where I'm going. You've got to keep that mindset. No, if the only place you want to go is senior gold, then okay, tell yourself every day, I'm going to be senior gold. And make sure you're doing the things that will get you there. And then always thinking, okay, diamond is where I'm going. Okay, in this situation, what would Diamond Dina do? In this situation, what would Diamond Dina say? And always asking yourself those questions, okay? Always remember that everybody needs what we have. Everybody needs the products. If you know somebody who is breathing, then you know somebody who needs the products. Everybody needs these products. And everybody, whether they know it or not, needs the business too. Everybody needs extra income. Everybody needs community and friends and all this. Everybody needs what we have. So you have to be bold and you have to share and you have to tell people. This is something somebody said, achievement doesn't happen in isolation. Community with other people and building others up. That kind of goes back to a lot of the things that I've already said. Making sure that you're not by yourself trying to work this business, but you're staying in community. You're in these Zoom calls, you're in the chat groups, you're talking to your upline, you're talking to your downline, you're talking to everybody about the business and letting people encourage you through it. Removing the friction. You have to remove the friction that's keeping you from getting where you want to go. If your actions are not, your actions can't be in friction with the goals that you have. So if I know, which I do, that I'm going to be diamond, then the actions that I do every day have to support that. If I'm only sharing Plexus with one person a week, I'm never going to be diamond. So I have to change that. My actions have to match what I want to get out of the business. Okay. Constantly tell your VIPs, I am with you, and coach them to believe that you are the most important thing that you are selling. When they said that, I was like, holy cow, you are the most important thing that you're selling. The people who are joining you trust you. They want you. They need you. They need your support. They need your guidance. You have to constantly be telling them, letting them know, showing them that you are with them. Connection is so important. I think that it was Tarl Robinson that shared this. He said, when someone helps me with anything, I go out of my way to help them. How many times has somebody helped you to do something? Maybe you were moving and they came and they helped you on moving day, move all your furniture to your new house or whatever it was. When people do something like that, aren't you like, thank you so much. Let me know what I can do to help you, to repay you for all that you've done for me, right? Well, when somebody helps us, we want to help them out. And when we help someone else, they are going to want to help us too. So you know what? You can always ask somebody, hey, could you share, if I write a post, could you just share a post about what I do in return for the favor that I did for you? I mean, that's such an easy thing to do, but staying in connection with people. And then this was one of the things that really stood out to me, just believing, and this was kind of reiterated all through the week, but just believing that anything is possible. I've never once doubted that I'm going to be a diamond. Like I'm diamond is where I'm going. Nothing is going to stop me. It's crystal clear to me. Just believing that nothing is impossible. I just shared this on my team call. I asked somebody the day before James Lawrence shared at convention. If you were not at convention, very briefly, James Lawrence, and maybe somebody already shared this, but James Lawrence did 50 triathlons in 50 days in 50 states. That means he wore his body out and then got in a vehicle, went to a new state, and did the triathlon again the next day. Okay. I asked somebody the day before he spoke, what does he do? Like, what is he all about? And I think it was Danielle. And they said he did 50 triathlons, 50 days. I said, no, he didn't. Like, no, he didn't. Like that, it's not possible that he did that. And I had already doubted his story immediately upon hearing it because I didn't have any way of believing that it was possible for somebody to do what he did. And I remember him saying that somebody asked him, why do you want to do 50? Because the most that were ever done was like, I don't know, 25 or something like that. They said, why don't you just do 26? And he said, because I don't want to do 26. I want to do 50. And, you know, it's part of like, he said, don't let, what was it? He said, don't compare yourself to somebody else's standard of what is possible. Is that what he said? To the current standard of excellence or something like that. Sorry, I didn't write that down. Set goals though, that are beyond what you think is possible. If you don't, like, you have to believe more than the mind can even fathom is possible. I want to be diamond. I want to be on that stage next year. I want them to ask me to speak. This is something Kenley Severin said. She said, I want to be diamond. I want to be on that stage. I want them to ask me to speak. And I'm sitting here going, yep, girl, that's me. But you got to change the I wants to the I wills. I will be diamond. I will be on that stage next year. They will ask me to speak. Like, you have to believe it if you want it to happen. Change all the wants to I wills. And when you believe that anything is possible, then you have the mentality of somebody like James Lawrence, who believes that they can do 50 triathlons in 50 days in 50 states, right? It's all goes back to what we talked about at the beginning. Got to have a good mindset. You've got to have a positive mindset, a mindset that believes that anything is impossible. That's all I got.
Okay, well, Dina, that was just amazing. And I love hearing every single time that you share so many nuggets of wisdom. And to go along with believing that your dreams are possible, you guys, there are going to be people who, when you share your big goals, like Dina has, like so many of you who are like, I will come back to convention next year and I will be a jewel and I will walk across the stage. You will tell that to certain people and they will say, no, you can't. There will be certain people who will not understand your big dreams. And that is okay. Because when somebody says you can't do something, what they are simply saying is that they can't do something, right? They're projecting. Oh, buddy. He doesn't like that. Okay. So I want you guys to just keep that in mind because you all are really big dreamers and you're feeling really, really energetic coming off of convention. But like the Iron Cowboy was sharing, is don't let somebody, what was it, like 0.023%, like their opinion, which is so teeny tiny, like do not let that percentage of somebody's opinion alter your belief. You stay surrounded by people who believe in you, who know that you can do it. And even if nobody else believes it for you, you have to believe it for yourself. And that's really all that matters. Like if you can believe it for yourself, then you can make it happen. I will never forget the month that we went Sapphire and Diamond in the same month. And we did a team call and somebody from corporate projected my numbers live to my team. And they projected that I wasn't even going to hit Sapphire.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening right now? I felt so defeated there for a second. Got on the phone with Alita and she was like, it doesn't matter what the numbers show. It doesn't matter what logic says, because with your belief, you can defy logic. Like you can beat any odds that are out there and you can do it if you guys put your mind to it. So Dina, thank you so much for closing us out with all of that. It was amazing. Thank you so much to Ariel for sharing for the very first time. Thank you so much, Ashley, for jumping on and sharing your experience at convention. We love you guys so much, and we'll see you next week for Straight Talk. Have a good night, guys.